On this particular video, I would like to use these few minutes to address a question that I hear all the time, and it is one that from this particular ministry I would like to clarify. This question is simply, and really there's a simple answer, but I will try to explain why this particular answer, it is the conclusion. The question is, should black people view certain Caucasian persons as brother or sister? On the surface, the answer is very simple, and it is no. No. Now, I know that sounds harsh, and it might sound cruel to some of us, but for those Caucasian people, those white people who listen to my words and who understand this situation, they know the reason of why such must be said, unless, of course, they meet a criteria that places them into the position to be called brother or sister. The number one thing that needs to be done in order for us to call a Caucasian person or a white man or white woman a brother or sister in any kind of form, there must be trust. Because we know that for over 400 years, there has been no development of trust. There have been Caucasian people who have helped secure the freedom of slaves and have helped in the civil rights movement and other facets, maybe help you on your job, a good doctor and all like this. And this is good for certain individuals or perhaps groups. But when we view Caucasian people as a whole, to say they are your brothers and sisters, then you are setting yourself up for failure, because we have done that in the past. And what have your brothers and sisters done for you except smile in your face, stab you in the back, because they never were your friends, because you never made them perform to a criteria so that they can be in a position to be called brother or sister. Now, we should appreciate Caucasian people who have awakened, who have certain enlightenment, persons such as Tim Wise. Tim Wise says many things that is beneficial to his people, to his people, to his people. Because what Tim Wise says, and he will tell you, we as so-called African American, we as so-called black people, we already know the things that Tim Wise is saying. It's just shocking for us to know that there are some Caucasian people who really know what's going on, that have an enlightened mindset. There was a young lady who recently made a video, and she brought much fire, and she came under severe attack from white people, her own people, because she said, I am not Trayvon Martin, and she explained the reason why. And what Tim Wise said and what this young white lady said is absolutely 1000% true. But what they don't realize is that their people have been conditioned to think a certain way. Oh, I take that back, because the young lady and Tim Wise, they understand that Caucasian people have been trained and conditioned to think a certain way. I take that back. I'm glad I didn't get too far. Yes, they understand. So if they understand that facet of what's going on, then they also understand why at this time, I'm not saying in the future, but at this time, it would not be wise for us as African American or black people. It would not be wise. You can say so, but it would not be wise without first Caucasian people, they submit to some type of criteria that we just, because they say, but there is no action to accompany the fact that they are indeed brothers and sisters. In order to be a brother or sister, you have to want for your brother what you want for yourself. At this time, we don't have what you have. So, not only by talking, making a YouTube video, but there has to be an action accompanied by your talk to show those that you are trying to friend that I'm on your side by actions that verify I want for my brother what I want for myself. As a people, you don't see that. So it would not be wise for us to say that this white man or this white woman is a brother or sister simply because they are saying that which they should say if they claim they are a just, fair, good, righteous type people. So what they are saying is not a shock. However, if this talk is accompanied by actions, then we are on our way to a friendship which could, in some future time, turn into an alliance, a brother or sisterhood in a struggle, right versus wrong. Because really, that's what this is. It is not about skin color. Skin color, the division of the human species or humanity, that's what caused our situation. However, overall, it is good versus evil. The righteous versus the unrighteous has nothing to do with skin color, except skin color, gender, class is used to divide the human family and cause these conflicts, these confrontations. If you want to be my brother, if you want to be my sister, then show me that you can die for me. Die for what benefits me, as I have died and my people have died for what benefits white people. If you cannot do that, if none shows this, then how can I say that you are brother and sister when black people have given their blood, sweat, and tears and have died in America and all over this earth for white people, but you won't do it for us? How can I call you a brother or sister? Talk must be supported by actions. Actions speak louder than words. And when you see somebody put themselves in danger, when you see somebody willing to die for you, then they have to be real, or they are the ultimate trickster. They are sacrificing themselves for the ultimate deceit, the ultimate trick. And that has not been done in our history in over 400 years. Well, that's incorrect. Some white people died in the Civil War to free blacks. White people died in the Civil War to keep the Union together. Slavery was used to gain support for the North. No more, no less. Abraham Lincoln made it very clear. If it was possible to keep slavery and preserve the Union, he would do it. So don't get it twisted. Let us stop talking about that lie. You have never died as a people for black folks, North or South. And then what happened when these slaves were freed? They caught hell in the North just like they caught hell in the South. Martin Luther King Jr., the Prince of Peace, the one who you claim that you love, he was ran out of the North, went to Chicago, Illinois. Martin Luther King Jr. said, I've never seen such hatred. I thought I had seen the ultimate hate, the ultimate violence in the South. But when he went north to Chicago, these northern white folks was worse than anything he saw in the South. Let us stop trying to trick. Let us stop trying to deceive. And then you want black folks to join you in your struggle against the so-called New World Order. The New World Order is Caucasian people. You don't want to admit that it's Caucasian people. You can't accept your reality that Caucasian people are the ones that created and still continue this mess. You want to try to make it like, oh, it's just some systems. Systems are people. The activity is done by people. It is done by white folks. It is all based in race, white supremacy, and you don't want to admit it and accept it because you are white. So how are you going to be my brother or sister when that which put me in the condition that I'm in is Caucasian? And you don't want to accept that. But there must be some type of criteria for brotherhood and sisterhood, even for other black folks. You just can't go around trusting everybody because they smile in your face and will stab you in the back. Jot down your comments. Let's talk about it. This your brother Taalik Ibn'rad. This was and is the Reality's Temple on Earth. What brings me to this particular topic is that I was watching a little television and I was listening to a story whereas this lady was talking about an incident she had with her friend when her friend was in a restaurant and she needed to feed her baby. And she was breastfeeding her child. Now, according to her words, you could barely see the breast as the woman was feeding her child. But they were noticed. So the manager, in a kind way, told them they would have to leave the restaurant. That was vulgar activity that he could not permit in the restaurant. So get your hungry baby and y'all gonna have to get the hell out of here. Basically, that's what happened. Now you tell me, when did it become vulgar for a woman to breastfeed her child? Well, you don't do that in public. I question, what is wrong with the public? First question that must be answered is, why or what is the purpose of the breast? The purpose of the breast of any mammal, including dogs and cats elephants and zebras and giraffes and lions, females, cows. The purpose of the breast of any female mammal, and a human being is a mammal, thus the female has breasts. The purpose of the breast is to feed her baby, to feed her offspring. The male does not have breasts. Some of you guys are so fat, you look like you have breasts, and the man's chest does look like breasts, but you don't have breasts, that which is capable of feeding or giving milk on a regular basis. Now, to be technical, you do have some males that can give off a certain amount of milk. Y'all didn't know that, did you? Oh, look it up, look it up. It's a fact. Because the male's chest really are breasts. Oh man, it's just look it up. You will find that the male is really a primitive female. Ah, woo! Look it up. Physically, the penis is a primitive vagina. Oh, wow. Look it up. Y'all have to do your research. That's not my topic. I talked on it before, and there's other brothers who are called divine masculines that talk about this. But right now, I want to talk about the purpose of the breast. The purpose of the breast is for that female, that woman, to nurse her offspring, to nurse her children. The breast was not designed to be a sex object for perverted, sex-addicted, porn-addicted males. Those males who seek to exploit and degrade and make the woman as some type of piece of meat or his play toy. If he was a wise man, he would appreciate the breasts for what they are, the nourishment, the first food, the first connection that child has to the universe, because that's what the woman represents. But in this society, the woman has been made a sex object, something to be exploited, something to be made vulgar. There is nothing vulgar and nasty about a woman breastfeeding her child. Here you are in a supposed to be civilized society, and a woman cannot show her breast in the public. The people go crazy, even other females. What? That's madness. But then you have so-called savage societies where women run around with their breasts out all day long, and you don't hear men barking like dogs and acting silly and crazy because they saw breasts. In this society, the woman can give her breasts that was developed for her child, her offspring. She won't give her babies the breast, but she can give a grown man or a grown woman with 32 teeth in their mouth. You can give them the breast with a smile, looking for pleasure. But you will not give your baby pleasure. You will not give your child pleasure. This is what these women in America have been conditioned to do. They give their child fake milk, something made out of soybeans or other chemicals, and you put it in a piece of plastic. There is nothing comforting about a piece of plastic. Plastic is refurbished oil, and you give this warmed up chemicals and this plastic bottle, and you put it in your child's mouth, and you deny the child that connection to the mother, the connection to the universe, its first experience in life. You give that connection to a plastic bottle that grows, that's cold cold, that has no soul, that has no life. So you wonder, as your child develops, as the child grows up, you wonder why you live in a society where the people are lifeless, where they embrace death. They have no connection to other human beings, raised on chemicals and plastic. And within the woman's breast milk, your wonderful, beautiful breasts, in your breast milk, black woman, white woman, or any woman, you deny your child the proteins and that which gives the child immunity from disease. You deny that children comfort and love and a feeling of feeling safe in a new environment. So you have all these people running around. And I guarantee you, the majority of the troublemakers on YouTube and those who are in government and all these wacky folks with crazy mentalities, they was raised on fake Similac milk or whatever you want to call it and plastic bottles. They are withdrawn from life and they are the conveyance of death and destruction, making mockery and other evils and wickedness. It is no shock that your children are ADHD because they was denied that connection to the mother, and once they are born, there is no connection to the mother or the father. They are placed before a TV screen, Nintendo, some type of game, some type of computer, electronic gadget, because you don't want to be bothered with your own babies. We have been made into an unnatural being. You are not human. I don't know what to call us. We are lifeless. And we are cold-hearted like the plastic bottle and them chemicalized milk. It is so pitiful that many of these young girls and women are ashamed to breastfeed their babies. Oh, I don't want to put no baby. That's nasty. How is that nasty? That is what your breasts were made for. That's what you was designed for, to feed your children for a long time on your breast. Not to feed some grown man that should be working, protecting you so that you can be at home with your babies and nurture them and teach them and comfort them and nurture them, not raise them. You don't raise children. You raise corn. You raise potatoes. You raise okra, but you nurture children. You teach children right from wrong. You teach them the skills that they need in order to survive in this life. But you want a career, you don't have time to feed your babies properly on your breast, or society denies you the right to be in the public and feed your children properly and nurture your children properly, because the woman's breasts have been made into a sex object, something to be played with, something to be made to be vulgar. There's nothing nasty about your breast, woman. You should be able to walk around here with your breasts out and some silly, stupid, faggoty, silly male go ballistic, go crazy. Oh man, look at that, look at that. Because he was fed Similac and given a plastic bottle, so he's breast crazy. I want to say something else, but I don't want to get nasty here. We just want to talk. This is why in general society, in most animal species, the male goes out and do a lot of the work so the female can breastfeed her babies properly and teach the babies what they need to know in order to survive. Has nothing to do with male domination and the male is so great. Everybody has their role in life. So these children in 2012 have been denied simple things, have been denied the breast, have been denied the connection to their mothers, denied the connection to their parents. And you wonder why we are so cold-hearted, so arrogant, just messed up, animalistic, because the life was never given to us. We was born and given life, but it was never continued. We was given death by giving plastic bottle and fake milk. And that's why we are fake. We are cold-hearted. That's why we are hypocrites. And you wonder why we are in the condition that we are in today. It is a sad thing, but we need to stop viewing the woman's breast as something vulgar and get our children back on the breast and take them off these psych drugs and this ADHD garbage. Jot down your comments. Let's talk about it, think about it, and then be about it. This your brother Taalik Ibn'rad. This was and is. Stop being ashamed of your breast, woman. I love you, the breasts and everything. You are the connection and the symbol of this universe. Thank you for listening. Respect you. In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of the Reality Temple on Earth. Of course, I'm the gatekeeper of this internet ministry, known here on YouTube as the mighty Angel Snub 7, your brother and hopefully your friend Taalik Ibn'rad, not only on YouTube, but I have videos, tongue-tied. I have videos on Daily Motion, Vimeo, MySpace, and make sure that you friend me as Sheshor Tenobeta on Facebook. With that being said, I challenge God. We're going to start off just like that. Do you hear me, Supreme Being? Wherever you at, are you up in the sky? Or are you on the sides of me? Or are you down below? I challenge God. I challenge you to do the things that you have promised the righteous in your so-called holy scripture. I challenge you to do those things right now, because we have been waiting. Well, not me, but these believers, well, I'm included, because at one time I believed in Jesus. I believed in Muhammad. I believed in Allah. I believed in Jehovah. I believed in Yahweh. I believed in God. But my faith in God became broken because I saw that my prayers and my righteousness, although righteousness is good for me, but I saw my behaviors and activity, my will to bow down to this so-called supreme being, going for naught. It meant nothing, because this so-called power did and shown to do nothing to support me in my efforts to support he, she, or it, or whatever God may be. So I challenge this God to fulfill your promise to humanity, and you have not done it for over 2,000 some years, if not longer. Well, oh my Lord. Brother, how can you dare come out and challenge God, the ultimate authority, the ultimate power? Why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't you challenge God? Y'all challenge authority and you challenge power all the time. You challenge your boss at work. You ask your boss after you've worked there for so long a time, boss, I need a raise. Boss, I need a promotion. Why aren't you giving it to me? If you did not challenge authority, if you did not challenge your boss, you might not get a raise. You might not get a promotion. You might not have a future at that company if you don't stand up for what you earn in that company and challenge those who are in authority, those who are in power. You know this. You challenge your parents. You question your parents. You question your boss at work. You question those who gave birth to you. You ask them, where do babies come from? Why don't you teach me how to drive a car? Why do you treat my big older brother better than you do me? You say that we are treated equal, but I don't see it. I need a pair of shoes. But why aren't you buying me a pair of shoes? You can see I want. I need to be taken care of. You say if I get good grades, I can go to the party, but you won't let me go to the party. You broke your promise. This is a challenge of authority, especially when that authority you feel is being unjust to you because they made promises. You know that you earned something. They did not keep their promise by giving you the reward that they promised you. In America, not in all countries, but I do know in America, you can challenge the President of the United States. Why are you sending those troops to Afghanistan? Why are you sending those troops to Iraq? Why do you want to send troops to Iran, to North Korea? Why are you doing these things? You can question authority. You can go out in the street and protest against authority. You and the President of the United States, this is what I heard, that the President of the United States is the most powerful man in the world. So if you can challenge the President of the United States, you can question his authority. You can challenge your parents, who is the only authority, the only power you knew as a child growing up. You challenge your boss at work, even though the boss can fire you at any time or give you severe problems. You challenge authority. So you challenge all these powers. You challenge all these persons that's in authority. But for some reason, the ultimate authority, the parent, the boss, that which you call God, for some reason, that power is exempt from being challenged. Why is this? Why is this? Why can you challenge your boss, your parents, the president? You can challenge your wife, your children, the dog, but you cannot challenge God. And God has promised you much. And this God has been making us promises for thousands of years, not for a few days, not for a few months, not for 50 years or 100 years, thousands of years. And we sit back looking silly because we are told, if you live a righteous life, if you do what's right, whatever that might be, do not commit sin. Do as what God wants you to do. Now, of course, we have backsliders, and we have those who are hypocrites, who really don't believe in God. But there are thousands, if not millions, that are doing everything they can to walk correctly, to talk correctly, and to do exactly what this God wants us to do, like you would do and obey your boss at a job. So when you obey your boss on a job, then you have earned something. And since you have earned something, you expect what? To get paid. So I'm a righteous person, and I have obeyed the laws of God. And many have done this over the centuries with no doubt. Or they have tried with the best of their ability, and when you are on the job, You can only give your boss the best of your ability, as nobody can be perfect. Everybody is on different levels on the job, but we trying to get this job done. So wherever we at, whether you are making millions of dollars, thousands of dollars, or you making the minimum wage, you are earning something due to your work, due to your sacrifice. And if you don't get what you earn, you challenge the boss. If you don't get what you earn from your parents, you challenge the boss. In this society, if society is not faring the way we believe that it should do, right now, we in this country, the United States, are suffering or going through an economic downturn. Going up a little bit, going down. We challenge the president to do better. And if this president can't do better, then you will vote this one out and try to get somebody else in. Why isn't this sort of thinking applied to God? Where is this heaven, God? Give me a sign. Only thing this God do is make promises and talk. Where are the babies being born of a virgin in 2012? Where are the physically dead being raised to life in 2012? Show me my hereafter from the Quran. Show me my heaven. And God, why did you choose the Jews? And this is not being anti-Semitic. This is not being hateful. This is a fact. This is a people within the scriptures of the Bible and Quran, and even living among us today, the Zionists in Israel have always been a rebellious people against God. Why do you choose, God, to choose a people as your so-called chosen that have been nothing but rebellious? So now they sit in Israel waiting to drop bombs on Iran, or just waiting to do something of some type of destruction. There is nothing peaceful about these people. Why did you choose them when there are so many others who are more humble, who are more deserving of your being a favorite to? Something is wrong. This ultimate power, this God, seems to be unjust. Why does this God pick on homosexuals? Talk to me and question. Why do this God pick on homosexuals? Because homosexuality is a sin, but yet and still you look over the fornicators, the murderers, the liars, the thieves, and all these other things, but for some reason you concentrate on homosexuals. So this great power plays favorites. Yeah, I challenge God, because God is not keeping his or her promise. God is playing favorites and all these different things. And if power, if authority can be challenged, then if God is the ultimate authority, then God can be challenged. It's as simple as that. This is your brother Taalik Ibn'rad. Jot down your comments. Let's talk about it. This was and is. Oh, I got that all messed up. The Reality's Temple on Earth. In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. Of course, I'm the gatekeeper of this particular program, known here on YouTube, Daily Motion, Vimeo, and make sure that you friend me on Facebook as Sheshor Tenobeta. I am the mighty Angel Snub 7, your brother, and hopefully your friend, Taalik Ibn'rad. Okay. Woo, that felt good. Have to wake myself up. I want to begin this very short talk by making something very, 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 very clear. I don't know about the so-called truth that comes from the Christian pulpit. I don't know about the so-called truth that comes from the mosque. I don't know about the so-called truth that comes from some historian that you admire, or some past leader, or your mother or your brother, or some teacher, somebody that you admire. I don't know about these so-called truths. I cannot speak, and I don't know what type of truth that these persons represent. But upon this ministry, what comes from this rostrum is what I call the real truth. And that truth must be accompanied by as much factual material as possible. It must be supported by as much logic as possible. It must be supported by as much rationale as possible. It must be supported by our reality as possible. It must be supported by common sense. It is what I call the real truth. It is not supported by beliefs. I thinks, I thought, I believe. It is the real truth. And being the real truth, that's why I call that which comes from this particular pulpit. It is the most powerful wisdom on YouTube and on this planet, because it is our reality, and there is nothing on the planet more powerful than what you are, your reality. So this is not a popularity contest. Even among so-called truths, there will always be opposition to truth, regardless to the level of that truth. I say that I represent the ultimate truth. I represent the real truth. But any type of truth must be accompanied by facts. And since we live in a world where we are born into falsehood, we are lied to, we are given fictional stories and fairy tales, told outright lies. We've been conditioned to live in darkness. Then when those who bring the light bring that torch, it hurts the eyes. You ever been in the dark and suddenly someone turns on the light? Your eyes squinch. It hurts. Your eyes might even water. And some of us might even say, turn out that light. Especially, when we are trying to sleep. And that's the condition of the black man and woman in America. You are in a sleepwalking, sleep condition. And those that come around you trying to turn on the light, you get angry. Those who are trying to strike the alarm, you want to take the brick and throw the brick at the alarm clock because you don't want to wake up, because you enjoy your sleep. But if there is any type of life in you, even if you are in hibernation, sooner or later you got to wake up. The black man and woman, the descendants of slaves born in America, you have been asleep for over 400 years. It is time that you wake up out of your slumber, or you perish, or you die. Which, that might be a good idea. However, such a waste of great potential, and the creation did not bring us into existence to be a waste. As the universe, the creation, don't waste nothing. And you and I will not be wasted. We will wake up, and that is the fear of those around us, because they know our potential. They know who we are. but they want you to stay asleep in your bed of ignorance, in your bed of filth, in your bed of alcoholism, porn addiction, drug addiction, and all these addictions that plague us in this life. And don't forget fiction and fairy tales. The real truth must be made as real as possible. So those of us who bring any kind of truth, let alone the ultimate truth, real truth, we are met by hostile forces that benefit from you being asleep. So towards us comes hatred, folks being upset, being made mockery of, personal attacks, anything that they can do, even murder, anything that must be done in order to save this life that we live in darkness, as it keeps us asleep, it keeps us in the morgue, but it is a benefit to those who put people in caskets. Oh, wow. So your opposition not only comes from those who benefit from the darkness, but from those who wish to continue to be asleep, as they are ignorant. You don't understand your potential. So in religion, I am like the old saying, the old quote we find in religion, as I don't take these attacks personal because I understand what is going on. All I can say is, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. And many of us, in our ignorance, not only in this struggle that we call black liberation, but in anything that we do, when we do something in ignorance, and then when the light shines and we find out that we were doing something wrong, then we can adjust. But when we are ignorant, we just do silly things, act in silly ways. And those who know better, if you love, then you have to be patient, because you understand that most times people are not attacking you out of hatred, but they are attacking you out of ignorance. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. So this is not a popularity contest. I have those who subscribe to my channel, and as long as I say something that they like, because they are in darkness, as long as I stay within bring a certain amount of light, it's all right. But don't bring it all, because that light might shine on something in the dark that I like. It might expose some of the half-truth. It might expose some deceit. It might expose some of the trickery that I enjoy. So you will see the subscriptions go up and the subscriptions go down, because you have those who claim they like truth, but really they don't. They like being asleep. They like being in some form of darkness. And so you believe, or some of these persons believe, because I want your subscription, that is of no benefit to me. You are no help to me. I asked my subscribers, and I have had thousands upon thousands of subscribers. I asked my subscribers to mirror these videos, make channels, learn how to mirror videos, make channels, and put so many channels up that the racist YouTube employees and their flunkies and other haters can't even begin to think about terminating these channels. But you do nothing. So there is no benefit except you believe that I'm here to entertain you. So come here and be entertained and go on about your merry way. That's what you can do. But as far as the message, since you don't pay the phone bill, you don't pay the internet bill, you don't do nothing, and even if you did, I must represent this truth, the ultimate truth, the most powerful wisdom on YouTube. I must represent it to the best of my ability, and I will do that, and I will not detour from that mission, because it is time that all truth in its strongest form be presented. Not just enough truth so that you can like it, because when you live in darkness, what was true today might not be true tomorrow. So you're always discovering new things. And truth will never be popular unless you love the truth. So I love the truth. So if I am in error, I am happy that that error is corrected so I can move forward and not go backward. I'm not going to believe in something just because it's popular and I like it. Because I'm a truth seeker. Unlike you, I'm not trying to be popular on campus. I'm trying to find the truth. So when those who are asleep, once they awaken out their slumber, they can act in the best of manners that they can achieve, that they can attain. And your potential is, woo, it is so great. So truth is not a popularity contest. Jot down your comments. Let's talk about it. This is your brother Taalik Ibn'rad. This was and is the Realist Temple on earth.